Nikikuwa mjumbe, nitawaletea basi.
Let us retake our top story where Mwananchi movement has taken its political engagements to Western Kenya, where Nairobi Senator Edwin Sifuna is leading a delegation to Nzoia County as opposition leaders intensify grassroots activities ahead of next year's election. And I understand now that I can get in touch with our very own Bramwell Bure, who is following that delegation. Bramwell, good afternoon to you. We understand that the leaders were actually received by Nzoia Governor George Natembeya. What is happening now? Where are they heading, and what more can we get from your end?
Well, good afternoon, Grace. As rightly indicated here in Moisbridge, this is the farthest point of Kakamega County. It borders Uasin Gishu County, and some around 10 kilometers from here, it is Kitale town. Of course, as you're speaking right now, the Linda Mwananchi Brigade is already here, and as Wekesa can rightly point there, that is Embakasi East MP Babu Owino, who is addressing the residents here. But I have to tell you and paint a small picture of the entire day, how it has been. This group has been pitching camp at Soy, waiting and mobilizing themselves ahead of this particular rally. This is the first stopover. This was meant to be the first stopover of this team on Saturday, but they were forced to make a stopover at Soy to address the market there and to address the supporters who had gathered there, just to have a feel of their leaders. So this is Moisbridge. From here, we'll be heading to Sibanga, then later on we'll be heading to the biggest rally, and that is Kitale town. Of course, what is coming out of this meeting is that the Mulembe nation has really woken up to the spirit of Sifuna. You can see if the numbers of people here is something to go by. Grace, you can clearly tell that this is one of the biggest ever rally that has ever been witnessed by local politicians from this particular region. And some people are already saying that they can see the spirit of Raila reincarnating in Edwin Sifuna. But that's something that we are going to see. Of course, at times these numbers lie. You can always have this gathering, but later on, when it comes to voting, then that it is another thing. Of course, we are mirroring this with what we are seeing with the Musalia Mudavadi back in 2013. But of course, you have to tell you that we are seeing Edwin Sifuna is here, James Orengo, we're seeing Babu Owino, and a number of leaders who have always been moving around with this Linda Mwananchi Brigade. Of course, from yesterday's comments, everything is set in Kitale town. George Natembeya is the guy leading today's rally, being that Kitale or Nzoia County is his home county. So we are going to follow keenly here just to see the undertones that are going to come here. There have been issues of a party emerging from this particular rally. It is a meeting that is supposed to propel Edwin Sifuna onto the national platform. But of course, you cannot do that if you have no political party that is going to propel yourself. So you're going to keenly follow and see, is there any mention of political party that is going to come from that Nzoia and Kitale meeting? Babu Owino has hinted already that he'll be the party leader and they will be delegating the Secretary General position to Western. So those are some of the statements that we are going to follow keenly. Of course, I have to mention also that this rally has already faced backlash from those dominant leaders, that is leaders who are allied to the government, that is President William Ruto, foot soldiers here in Mulembe Nation. Some are saying that it is too early for Edwin Sifuna to just spring up and want to be a president. They are saying he should be contented with the second position, that the deputy president position, that will help him grow and eventually go for that step. But Sifuna and his team are saying 2032 is way too long. They are saying they cannot afford to wait for 2032. And they are saying 2027, which is next year, is their year. And they are saying, going with of course the latest rankings of Sifuna, there's nothing that is going to hold him back. They are saying they are going at it. They are giving the presidential a stab in 2027. So these are some of the things that we are keenly following here. This is the biggest opposition that we have, President William Ruto is facing for the first time in Mulembe Nation. So we are going to keenly follow, see these leaders, what they are going to say, see the supporters, weigh the mood. But from here, it's clearly that Sifuna is really be welcome back home. You can see with the number of women, number of young people, number of old men who have just stand up, waving flags, singing those songs, welcoming Sifuna. It is something that any son or any politician from this region can admire and say that indeed Sifuna's future is bright. But of course, that is something that we are going to follow keenly over a year to general elections. If he will sustain this momentum and eventually get onto that ballot box, it's something else. But for now, Sifuna is a star on rising. You can see here, he is a star on rising. But let's wait, move to Kitale and see exactly what will transfer there. But we can assure our supporters that we are upbeat. We are going to give them event coverage of these particular functions. Today, we're here in Nzoia. Tomorrow, it will be in his home county, that is Bungoma County. So Grace, from here, that is exactly what you are witnessing. And from now, maybe we'll be crossing over to listen in to what the leaders are going to are saying on the other end. Grace.
All right. Thank you so much, Bramwell Abure there, who's covering for us that particular rally that is happening in the Trans Nzoia County. Remember, tomorrow they'll be touring